What's up, everybody? Let's go ahead and take a look at the weekly plays and see how you could have made some money off of the weeklies. So the first thing that was signaled was MA, MasterCard. Now, it did break entry when it got signaled, but then it immediately rejected it, right? So this is typically, whenever you see it happen once, especially twice, where it breaks entry and then just rejects it, especially off of it being the exact same level that it can't get past. What this typically means is that there's going to be an outside week, meaning the week is going to turn into a three. It did, right? So what would you look for? What you look for is an actionable signal pushing it back into time frame continuity, which is here, right? You had the fail two here. This is where I got a play to swing. I just got one contract to swing, and then it ended up gapping up the next day, rejecting off of that entry again and pushing all the way down below that weekly stop loss. Now, right around here is where I got out of my contract, and I made like 140% on it. It was like a couple $100 off of just one contract in one day, just being aware of the Fib 50. So Fib 50 is a great tool to use, especially on higher time frames, because if you would have been very prepared for this to be an outside week. It would have been out before. And once it's a three, you're out, you get out of the play once it becomes a three. And it's the rules. All right, let's talk about the weekly for AMD. So AMD became a three as well, but this one wouldn't have been like as easy to see the Fib 50 in my opinion, because it actually did go and hit PT1 and got very close to PT2. However, the distance between PT1 and entry was about $2.20. You would have made a very nice amount of money on that. Just getting it from here to here, letting your run it go up all the way, having it be stopped out in profit, you would have been good to go. And it was this day where, wouldn't you know it, look at what we're rejecting off of. This is why you don't delete your trend lines. I think that's a coincidence. It's not. There's no coincidences in the stock market. That's not a coincidence. So yeah, AMD, you could have done the same thing, but you would have made money on it by taking it to PT1 for sure. After that, Uber was signaled. Let's go ahead and take a look at Uber. We were waiting for this to come down. It hit PT1, hit PT2, hit PT3 before shooting all the way back up again. And honestly, once it broke entry here, if you had held it overnight, you would have started the next day with it being past PT1. It would have hit PT2 and then shot back up. You would have been stopped out in profit, or you would have just taken your profits at PT1 and at PT2. However, this bad boy right here, closing beneath the weekly entry, is exactly why I played it again, and I swung some plays on it, and I got out here. So broke entry again, took out PT1, took out PT2, took out PT3, and was gone, right? And that's what you got to do. You got to learn how to scale out along the way and capture that bread. It's not all about just getting like, 10%, and yeah, that's great. Sure, if you're putting $10,000 in on each play and you're taking 10%, that's fantastic. But if you're only able to get a couple of contracts and you're walking with 10%, you're not going to make much money, which is why you have to scale out along the way, move stops into profit, and let yourself hit those 60, 70, 80% returns with your runners, not the whole thing, but with the runners, right? That's how you get to the big dollars and actually get a really great ROI on your money without risking an entire or a whole bunch. So Uber would have played out really well on that higher time frame. Let's see here. Z also did its thing. As you can see here, this one is what we were prepared for. Took out PT1, took out PT2, took out PT3, right? Just tapped it. And then going into the daily time frame, let's see how easy this would have been to take. You see we break entry right here on Monday. We gap down and immediately take out PT2. Now, this is where I would have been out of majority of my contracts, maybe with a runner in profit. Not maybe, but like for sure with the runner in profit. And this bad boy pushing down right here, maybe you would have wanted to swing a contract because it's like, hey, this is now moving in time frame continuity with the weekly. It's very possible that we could take out the last price target. And we do end up pushing down, getting very close to the last one, but then it ends up pushing right back up again on the daily. So I think you would have been able to have an easy time taking this from entry to PT2. After that, you're just kind of trying to squeeze some juice out of it, but it would have been very easy to take. All right, now coin. Coin's interesting, right? Because as we can see, it did its thing, broke entry, hit PT1, hit PT2, got so close to PT3 on the weekly, right? If we look, it broke entry and hit PT1 day one. So you should be scaled out with runners in profit, with a stop loss in profit. Then we shoot all the way down to this bad boy, right? It opens up down here, gets so close. This is where you definitely want to be scaling out, especially considering you went from 253 to almost 235. You should definitely be scaling out here, if not just being happy and taking your money and running. It did end up going up again, but wouldn't you know it, right around here, we break entry again and immediately take out PT1. And then look at this wick. We reject entry again. And if you were looking on a smaller time frame and you saw it reject the weekly entry, get some more puts in this case because we're going to take out PT1 and PT2 all over again this next day. Coin would have been a banger if you had taken that. Tesla, I gave on the weekly watch list as well. Now, most people wouldn't have looked at this and been able to see a play. However, that's what you got me for, right? I knew that this bad boy was getting ready to come down. Sure enough, we broke entry, took out PT1, PT2, PT3, and then the last PT as well. I got you. Don't worry. I got you. That's what you're here for, right? You're here for the good plays. However, we gapped like crazy. We gapped like crazy. We weren't able to really get the hold of it that we wanted to day one, day two, or day three. But last day of the week, we break entry. If you're like me, hey, maybe it's worth taking, right? Scared money don't make no money. You take out PT1, you take out PT2, you take out PT3, you take out the last PT to the freaking penny all in one day with an $8 drop that you could have capitalized on just by having the watch list that I gave charted out. That's it. Taking it when it was time to take it. And with that being said, those are everything on the weeklies that hit. I hope you made some money along with me. I made some fantastic money off of the weeklies this week, including the dailies, but the weeklies, you know, bigger range, bigger money, right? So yeah, that is the weeklies. That's my little girl. All right, I'll catch y'all later, and God bless, and let's keep making some money in Q2. Peace.